Hello traders, this is Daniel, and this is the view from my Vantage Point. I want to take a quick moment to go back to the blog, the page that you're probably looking at right now. It's on my screen. Here's the home page for the blog, and on the right hand side you see recent posts. I want to take you back to the Valentine's Day edition that I did last week. I think it was on the 10th. I'm going to click on that video, and I want to go into that video really quickly because there's some good information in this video that I think you need to see. If you look, here's the gold chart dating from January 2nd. This is important because if you haven't seen this video and you haven't walked through the explanation of VantagePoint, you can stop the one you're watching right now. Go watch this one real quick because I want to do a continuation. I want to show you how powerful these forecasts are, and I want to show you the kinds of profits you would have been able to make just in the last week alone. So let's hop over to VantagePoint. Now, if you're looking at that gold chart, when I switch to VantagePoint, it's going to look very familiar. It is the same exact gold chart that I showed last week. It even has the same calculations and trend lines from a profit standpoint that I went over last week. Now, since last week, I want to draw your attention over here to the blue line and the black line on the right-hand side of your chart. You can see that purple line goes right there to that candle. That was the end of that trading day, and I said at that point, VantagePoint was forecasting this trend to keep going down. Now, you can see there's 4 more days of data on this chart. 4 more days of actual data, and gold did in fact go down. And if you look at this, just since the forecast, using that information, you could have seen and realized $2,300 in profit per contract in 4 trading days. Now, knowing that our starting package is $2,900, you can see how very quickly VantagePoint customers recoup that investment. And best of all, you had this information last week. VantagePoint does intermarket analysis. That's a patented process that looks at the markets from a global perspective. Think about it. You've got fundamental analysis. You've got technical analysis. And when you get VantagePoint, you're going to be adding intermarket analysis to your arsenal. And once again, that is patented technology. And that's important because the indicators that are produced by looking at the markets from a global perspective are trend leading indicators. So this blue line, that's a predicted moving average. That's predicting the overall trend of this market 2 to 3 days in advance. The green line at the bottom is a predicted neural index. When it's up here in the 1 position, that's predicting short-term strength. And when it's down in the 0, it's predicting short-term weakness. Now, if you look at this whole chart in gold, you can see in the first 15 trading days, you could have made over $8,000 profit on that uptrend. When VantagePoint forecasted that trend was going to change direction because that blue line crossed below the black line, up until the video last week, you could have made $5,700 per contract. Since the video last week, add another $2,300 per contract. You're talking about $16,000 in profits in one market just since the beginning of the year. This is why you need VantagePoint. Now, in that video as well, I looked at 1-800-Flowers. Let's pop over to that. You can see this was up 31% at the time of that blog. Now, if you look at that post, you can see that was this day right here. Now, if I go from the opening of this day to the close of today, you can see 1-800-Flowers went up another 7%. In 4 trading days, you could have tacked 7% on top of the 32% you already made. You're talking about 40% profits already in 1-800-Flowers. This is why you need VantagePoint. These predictions are up to 86% accurate, and it's going to help you find opportunities you're missing today, hold through that confusing volatility in the situations when it's consolidation and that market's about to take off again. VantagePoint is going to help you be in position more often to take advantage of that. Flipping to another one, I talked about Canadian solar last week. Here's the actual trend line. It was up almost 40% in 11 trading days, and you can see right here, that was the day that that blog was posted. Since then, this stock up some more. Now, you can see the blue line was above the black line, continuing to forecast that trend up. It went up another 10% since that last forecast. 1,000 shares of Canadian solar, just since we talked, would have generated $2,500 in profits for you. This is something that you can't afford to wait to get. VantagePoint does intermarket analysis. VantagePoint forecasts the trends with a high degree of accuracy, and VantagePoint is going to give you the opportunity to make more money consistently.